Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I want to show you a game I played back when I was 14 years old against an international master rated 23.99 back in Moscow in 2018. Let's get to the game. So to start with, that was a huge open tournament with a bunch of strong rated players. And back then, as you might see, I was 1923, and I think after that tournament I crossed 2000 FIDE rating for the first time in my life, and I was extremely happy about it. And in one of the rounds I was playing against this IM guy, very strong, 2400. c5, knight f3, d6, d4, takes knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, and now he plays g6. I remember this pretty good because my coach, he helped me with prep. By the way, I had a very good grandmaster coach till I was 18 years old, which taught me a lot of good lessons. And back then, of course, theory was extremely important, and now with all the courses, it's kind of, you can buy whatever courses and play whatever opening you want to play. But back then, it's all about books, it's all about your, let's say, coach's knowledge. And yes, he helped me a lot with the prep against Dragon, and I got an extremely good position right away. I went f3, knight c6, queen d2, castle, castle. And now the main move d5, which kinda helps black equalize on the spot. So here he takes d5, knight d5. So one of the moves that I later started playing was queen e1. I think Magnus played this in one of his games. The move turned out to be not that bad. So I played queen e1 for a while, but he takes d5 is of course the main line. Knight d5, knight c6, b takes c6, bishop d4, and the idea is of course to trade this dark squared bishop off the board. He goes e5, bishop c5, and now bishop c6. That's all book moves. If you ask myself, okay, bishop f8, you just win an exchange. There's a good position. No, guys, queen f8 and bishop h6 is coming. The position is actually a lot worse for white pieces because bishops are looking towards the spawns. So actually, I would suggest some people to start playing Dragon because it's an extremely sharp opening, especially the main line of Dragon, so you might get a lot of wins there. I actually play Dragon myself, not the main line, but some variations. I gotta admit, I lost more games than I won with the Dragon, but still, it's extremely good opening. Rook e8. Now I went for h4, I remembered it perfectly. h6, g4, and now f5 is a blunder. So I actually knew a bit more than my opponent. f5 is played in many lines actually, but it wasn't the case here, because after g4, f5 you kind of helped me open up the position. My rook is about to come to g file, and you don't really want to open the position. Play something like rook b8, play something like, I don't know, queen c7 is one of the moves, but f5 just seemed horrible. And I took on f5, g takes f5, and now knight d6, attacking the rook on e8. He goes rook e7, and now bishop h8. And my idea is of course to take the pawn on f5. He goes queen d7, and now I play c4. I try to open up the position. According to the evil bar, as you might see, I'm plus 2.3. That's a huge advantage on this level. He goes knight f4, and now I play bishop f4. Brilliant sacrifice. The idea, I'm using and exploiting the weakness of e7 rook. Bishop f5, knight f5, and now I attack the rook on e7, and if queen f5, which wasn't played in the game, I will just play bishop e7, and I'm up in exchange. I'm completely winning. Maybe he should have actually tried to go queen f5. Yes, it looks a bit horrible that you give up an exchange, but maybe e4 and you just try to scare me a little, because look, knight d3 check is coming, so I gotta take. And now knight to 2, by the way, is a huge threat, but rook e1, and now I'm slowly running. The position is obviously winning, because look, you kind of worry. Let's say rook b8, oh, you attack this pawn on b2, and guess what? The best move is either to play rook g1 or play bishop e3. So black have some pressure on this pawn, so it's not that easy. Because let's say if I play b3, it looks like a good, good move. Apparently takes, and I'm simply lost. Because now king c1, I believe there is knight d3, and this king d3, king b2. So it would have been all over. So he could have probably played queen f5, which is better, but now he transposed to the endgame where I'm up a pawn. I have, why it says mate in 3? Come on, chess.com, what is going on? It's not mate in 3 now, it's back to normal. And now I go 96, and now I go 94. So basically I try to neutralize this bishop on g7 so it doesn't move too much. 93, king c2. 95 takes, and now we got a following endgame where, once again, I'm up a pawn. The position is winning, but gotta convert. Rook b7, rook f4, he tries to take my h-pawn, bishop g1, h5, rook h4, and now I go rook d6, attacking both c6 and h6 pawns. He goes king f8, I take on h6, and now he takes on a2, and I took on a c6. At this point, I remember realizing that, nah, I mean, this has to be somehow winning. I just have to play against a pawn here, just to make sure it doesn't promote. Rook a3, knight c3, bishop h2, and now he started creating threats finally, because bishop e5 is a threat. I go rook e6, not letting him go there, and now rook e2 attacking the bishop, and now king c2. Knight goes to d5, bishop d8, and f4. I finally started doing what I'm supposed to do here, pushing pawns forward. a5, king b2, rook h3, rook e5, a4, c5, and pawn slowly moves, and we transpose to a rook endgame where I kinda knew that it's probably all over, because look, he has no choice. King e7, rook h6, rook f3, c6, rook h7, and now rook d7, he simply resigned, because look, he has no moves. Because let's say king c8, I play h6, he plays rook h4, I play h7, and my plan is pretty simple. I go rook g7, I go rook g8, my h-pawn is about to be promoted, it is a win. And that's how I beat, I think at that time that was the highest rated player I've ever beaten in Over the Board Chess, especially in a serious tournament game. And yes, was extremely happy. I mean, being 14-year-old kid, I think it was the second win of the tournament. I beat like some 2150 guy in the round before, so it was like 2 wins in a row, so was extremely happy. I played a bunch of other strong masters in the tournament, didn't do too well, but you know, it was a huge experience for myself. And yeah, even though, you know, right now you kind of look at kids who are grandmasters, like let's say Faustino Wara, he is international master, 10 years old, almost a grandmaster right now, will be in, let's say, couple of months, while me at 11, I was unrated noob who didn't know how to play chess, who didn't know what is this game, but of course now the technology, the information you have, is helping all kids to learn chess, and adults like me. Yeah guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know anything, any feedback you might have. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.